What's going on, everyone? It's Bales, and welcome back to the final AFL Fantasy trade talk for the 2023 AFL Fantasy season. So, ahead of round 24, as I mentioned yesterday on the round review, this season's gone so quick. I can't believe we're already at round 24, and we're only 1 week away from the season ending, and then we're into finals. So, it's gone so quick. But one thing I sort of wanted to say, let me know in the comments below what you guys have thought about Trade Talk this season. If you guys, it's been the most popular video that on the channel weekly. So let me know in the comments below what you guys have thought of it. If you've enjoyed it, any improvements you guys would like to see for next year, because obviously I'll be doing it again. So let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on it. But also, make sure you do leave a like on the video if you have enjoyed the trade talks this season. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already as well, as we try and reach 1,300 by the end of the season. So I'm extending it to finals because we haven't hit it yet. So if we can hit that before the end of the finals, that'd be very much appreciated. But yeah, let's get stuck into all of the most trade in-out players. Actually, before I do as well, myself and Tim are doing a live show in Perth at Varsity Northbridge on Sunday at 4 p.m. local time. We'll be watching Carlton and GWS, the final game of the season, cheering home our players for the final game this season. So make sure you buy your tickets. I'll drop the link in the description below and probably pin it in the comments as well. So make sure if you guys haven't got your tickets. Tickets are free, but they're limited to, I think, 50 or 60 spots. So make sure you get in quick because they are going to sell out, I think, before Friday. So make sure you guys do get in and get your tickets so you can come and see me and Tim. But if you're not in Perth and you want to tune in, it'll be live streamed on YouTube, and also at this stage it should be as a Twitter space, but we'll obviously have to see how the technology works. But it will be on YouTube, so make sure you guys tune into that. Anyway, let's get stuck into the most trade in and out players. It is going to be very varied. There's a lot of coaches bringing in multiple different options a week. So let's go through a few of them. Taylor Walker is the most trade in player so far. 3,000 are jumping on him. I like it. With the Crows being knocked out of finals now, rightly or wrongly, what is wrongly. So the thing that they can focus on is just win the game and getting Texas his first Coleman, because this is probably, I don't want to say his only chance, but he's 33. He's not going to be sort of kicking 70 goals each year. So this could be his only chance to win a Coleman. Probably likely will be. So I think the Crows are going to try and get him the Coleman. So I think he's a great option. Could have a big score on the cards, especially if McGovern's out as well, because no Barras there. If McGovern's out, then there's not too many defenders for West Coast there. So I like bringing him in. Tom Green, 2,500 coach jumping on him. I like him as well as a target. Carlton have been giving up points lately, but Tom Green shows he's matchup proof, really. His scores have been great since coming back. He got a 120, he got a 116, I think, or a 118. Then he got a 140 odd. So he's been great since returning from his injury. And yeah, I like him for the final round. Roy Laird, just under 2,000 coach jumping on him. I'd probably prefer him over Tom Green this week if you're choosing between the two. West Coast this week, he's had a great history against them. I think his last 4 games, he's gone over 120 against them, and that's including the preseason game, and then got a 138 or whatever. So again, he's been very good this year. I think he's averaging over 110, removing that first game where he got the 57. And I think from round 5 onwards, he's averaging about that 112 mark, 113. So he's had a good year, but been sort of a little bit below par for Lairdy standards. He's normally a 115 plus player, or has shown that he can be. So yeah, I think he'll end off with a bang. Little flag if that he's had a shoulder niggle last few weeks. So since the Giants game, so there's a chance that the Crows put him on ice for the final round. I think he'll play. I think that just the player that Lairdy is, I think he'll want to play the final game of the season, and then he'll rest up after that. But just a little flag just to keep an eye on teams. But there will be probably some ins and outs, well, more likely outs that we don't see coming. So just keep an eye on that with teams. That's what a lot of our trades are going to be dictated by this week, I think. Sam Flanders, North Melbourne matchup this week is obviously a great matchup. Scored really well against Carlton last week with 125. Again, good option to finish off the season. Been very, very good. He's probably underpriced heading in next year. Priced 85 could be an option for us to consider for next year as well. But for the final round, I like him. What's he priced? I think he's quite a bit getting up there into price now. 805, yeah, over 800k, but still cheap enough. So I like him. Nick Newman, don't like him as much as previous weeks. Just with the Giants matchup, he kept Toby Green to, I think, was 5 touchdowns in the year. He got a 116 himself, but can he score well again and play on Toby Green? I think he can, but I don't like him as much as I did last week and the weeks prior. But again, there's not too many defensive options, putting their hands up. So Nick Newman is the obvious one there, so I like bringing him in as an option. Clayton Oliver, really like him as an option, 1.3k jumping on him. Sydney this week, I don't expect the tag. Rowbottom could go to Oliver, go head-to-head with him, but Finn is arguably, if not the best tagger in the comp, and kept Oliver to only 60. Well, no, he is the best tagger in the comp. Get Oliver to 66 points last week, so I expect Oliver to respond. This is his only score actually below 100 all year, which is surprising. We sort of forget that he missed those 8 or 9 weeks. Scored 100 every other game. Returned with a 126, and he got a 66 last week. So I expect him to go back to his 100 plus ways this week. Zach Butters, like him as an option. Richmond, Adelaide Oval, great matchup. And he is going for that Brownlow. He is one of the top sort of few guys there that I think is going to be high there on Brownlow night. So I think him trying to get 3 votes in this game is going to be sort of at the back of a lot of Port's players' mind. Because I think Ryan Burton puts it on, I think Pete was saying that Ryan Burton said it on one of the Adelaide SA radio stations that they know Butters is up there, so they're going to try and give him the ball. So that could mean a big score this week. Matt Crouch, 1.2k jumping on. Then Touk Miller as well. I'm going to put these two together. It's hard to split. So Crouch has got Eagles, 400s in a row. Look really good. Low time on ground, which is a little slight flag. And then Touk Miller as well. North Melbourne this week, 118 he scored. His time on ground's back up. He's in the CBAs, which is obviously great. Part of me sides with Touk. He's got North Melbourne, which is a good matchup. LDU doesn't look like he'll play. So if that's the case, he's not going to tag anyone. So I like him as an option. Matt Crouch. I'm yawning because I actually recorded this video before. Audio stuffed up. It cut halfway through, so I had to record again. That's why I'm a little bit tired. But yeah, Touk. I think I back him in just because he's averaged at 120 before. Matt Crouch has been up there, but with Laird and Dawson there, if Laird was to be out, that could change potentially. But at the moment, I think I'd rather Touk just because they are very similar price. I think Crouch is about 780? Yeah, 789. Touk is 796, I think. Yeah, so only 8k, only 7k difference. So I think I'm Touk just, but both good options. Dunkley as well, they're good option against the Saints. I think he'll end off with a bang. Harry Sheasel, good matchup against Gold Coast. No Zeeble, obviously, there as well, so he's also not a bad option. What's Sheasel's price? 801. Yeah, I like him as well. And yeah, Bont's also there as well against Geelong. Against a battered Geelong as well, so a few players won't be playing for Geelong this week, so he could also be a good matchup. If you don't have English, though, English is one that I would bring in if you don't have him. Doesn't look like they're going to be getting any of those rucks back. So English down at GMH Bay will be up against, I think, Shannon Neal, unless they bring in Toby Conway for his debut for Geelong. I've got him in a draft league, so part of me hopes he does make his debut. But, yeah. Here we go. Most traded out players. LDU, late out last week. He's the most traded out player, 3.8k. I'd be happy to jump off. I think he isn't going to play. I think North Melbourne might put him on ice for the final game. But even if he did play, I think Touk would tag him if LDU played. So I'd be trading regardless if he played or not. So, yeah, I'd be happy to trade. Jack Zeebel's 3.7k. He's obviously not playing this week, so he can go as well. He plays his final game on this past weekend. Jack McRae, if you missed the news, Mitch Clear reported that he will be not playing this week for the Bulldogs. Delayed concussion symptoms. So he'll be missing this week. So he's a trade if you still had him, 2.4k. He's put up a couple of really bad scores in a row. What was it, 45 and 51? Dropped down to a 91.8 average, which potentially could make him an option next year. He's going to be very cheap, so he's going to be one of the only forward options. So could be an option down to 694k as well, which is not, if you've still got him, you're not going to be able to unfortunately get up to much. So maybe that's where you do get one of your Sheasel, Flanders. If you get a Touk or a Crouch in the midfield. Why did my camera have to stuff up? I'm so tired. Luke Jackson, missed Luke Nankervis. I'd be happy to cash Luke Nankervis. And he got dropped last week anyway, but I'll be happy to cash him in and get that cash off the bench and try and make a final upgrade there. Luke Jackson, go. Tough matchup against Ned Reeves this week. I'd be happy to move him on. He was good against West Coast. The scoring slow in the second half there, and he only got the sort of the low 100. But if it was a closer game, might have got a bigger score there. And then even last week, good match against Port Adelaide and couldn't capitalise on it and only got an 83. So I'd be happy to trade him if you can get a guy like a Butters, Flanders, even a Sheasel. Andrew Brayshaw, 1.2k jumping off, and then Sarong 1.1k. I don't know what my gut says about who Finn McGuinness goes to. Does he go to Brayshaw, who got a 155 against him earlier in the year and was really good? Or do they go to Sarong, who has probably had the better year of the two? I'm not sure. I'd be happy to trade both, to be honest, so you get rid of the headache of which one's which. More than likely, one of them, or potentially both, could put up a big score. But I guess trying to get rid of the headache of the McGuinness tag. I think Finn will go to one of them. I just don't know who. My gut says Brayshaw. Just because he's the more outside player and he could take him. But then again, Finn's gone to a few inside mids of late. He went to Oliver, he went to Libba the week before Libba obviously got concussed. So it is a 50-50 call. I really don't know. And because Finn McGuinness doesn't normally start in the CBAs, we're not going to know before the bounce. So it's anyone's guess. But I'll be happy to trade both. Will Day, 1.2k jumping off. I'd be happy to trade. If you did have like a Jaden Short and him, I'd keep Will Day over Jaden Short. Short's got Port Adelaide at Adelaide Oval this week, so I'd be happy to trade him. But I'd also be happy to trade Will Day as well. I think that he's been very, very good this year. Averaging 96, he's been one of the best picks of the season if you started with him. But he was cramping at the end of the game. He might struggle final game of the season. Obviously, first full year for him in the midfield. So I'd be happy to trade. Callum Mills, he just has to go 1.2k jumping off. And 51 last week? He had the role in the CBA, so you just have to trade him. Again, he's not worth much. What's his price? 670. Yeah, he's not worth much, so he can go. Tim Taranto, I wouldn't be keen to trade him. I know he's got poor, tough matchup, but again, who are you going to? I know Butters and Flanders and she's all got great matchups, but I sort of see Taranto to one of them. I don't see that as a trade that sort of gives enough appeal to make it. But hey, if you've got no issues whatsoever and you're just looking at pure luxury trades, then you could do it. But I'd be wanting to keep him, I think. I've talked about Sarong before. And then, yeah, guys like Elijah Hewitt and Ryan Marriage, they can go, you can cash them in. They're a good price as well. Elijah should be getting near 500k now. Yeah, 459, he can go and cash him in and make that final upgrade. And the same with Marriage as well. Marriage should be probably near 400. Yeah, 397. So he can go and you can get that final upgrade. And then Jane Short, as I mentioned before as well, he can go with that difficult Port matchup. So, yeah, they're the most traded out players. I'm not going to give a top five. Again, as I've said the last couple of weeks, it's just so hard to give a top five. So, my trades this week, I'm going to be going a Caleb Sarong to a Clayton Oliver. And then at this stage, I'm probably looking at Brayshaw to Green and just getting rid of Bose and get rid of the headache. But I'm also wanting to get rid of Luke Jackson. So, he could go to a Flanders or a Sheasel. I can't get Butters if I get Oliver. I might be able to, I probably could get Tom Green and Butters if I wanted to. So that's an option as well, thinking about that. But at this stage, I'm getting Green and Oliver for those two mids and just sort of getting rid of the headache so I don't have to worry about it. Because I'm trying to push inside the top 2K. I'm about 248 something, I think. 2483, is it? I think it's 2483. So I'm trying to look to crack the top 2K. So yeah, I've got to make a couple of moves this week. But yeah, anyway, let me know in the comments below what your trades are ahead of the final week of the season. If you've got any trade questions, put them in the comments below. And also put in your feedback for Trade Talk and what you've thought about it this season. Also, make sure you get tickets to the AFL Fantasy Fanatics live show, the final round review and season review. So yeah, I'll put the link to the tickets in the description below. The tickets are free and limited spots, so make sure you do get in fast and get your ticket for Sunday and come watch Carlton Giants and then the live show straight after. Also, make sure you do leave a like on the video if you enjoyed the content, have enjoyed the trade talks throughout the year. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're trying to reach 1,300 before the end of the season. We've still got finals to go, so if you can reach that before the end of the finals, I'll be doing watch-longs for all the finals games this season, so make sure you join me in watching all of those. I'll be back on Friday with Tim for our final pre-lockout chat of the season, and we'll be doing the pre-lockout chats for AFLW. So if you guys are playing AFLW this season, make sure you tune into that every Friday about the same time, just before lockout. So yeah, make sure you tune into those. They probably won't be on YouTube. They'll just be on Twitter or X, I think. But if enough people want it on YouTube, then I'm happy to stream on YouTube as well. So beautiful. All right, thanks guys. Have a good couple of days, and I'll catch you guys on Friday for the pre-lockout chat. So I'll also link all my social media links in the description below. Make sure you can follow all those, and also turn notifications on so you don't miss when I go live or upload any other content. I thought I said it, I forgot because I recorded this before and I had to record it again. But anyway. there we go. All right, I'll catch you guys on Friday. So I'm out. Cheers.